sorry about that long wait. As soon as I got to go, then children, right? For coming back, are we ready to start? So, if you were in the last, okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Let me know, let me know, let me know. Sorry about that, you guys. If you can't hear me now, I'm so sorry. So sorry, so sorry. I have my AirPods in and I have my AirPods working in the last stream. I don't know why they did not want to work this time around. I'm so sorry. I hate that. And he says, there she is. I was here. But yeah, I don't know. My AirPods are like on the fritz right now. It's like I'm getting a lot of static when I wear them, a lot of feedback, squealing in one of them. Um, I've cleaned them and I've like unpaired them and then paired them back. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. But very annoying. I'm gonna have to figure that situation out. But what I was saying was, when you guys could not hear me, is that I was sorry for being so late, because as I was getting ready, the kiddos, I always think, oh, I can be ready in 10 or 15 minutes, but then that turns into 30, right? With kids. Anyway, um, the one kiddo, the teenager is crappy pants today, and then the little one here is running around with marker lids on her fingers like they're fingernails or something. She cracks me up. She's cracking me up. But anyway, in the previous live stream that we did today for Alex Murdaugh, if you caught that, then you may have caught me saying something about the Treehouse murder dude, the defendant, Tucker is his last name, was late again today. And the judge had to jump on him again for being late. So we're going to start it from the beginning. Today is day 3. We are officially caught up with this trial, so yay for us. Even though we had a little bit of a delay getting started with this today because of the impromptu Alex Murdaugh status hearing. I didn't expect that to go as long as it did, but it did. So, but are you guys ready to see the shenanigans for today, for Mr. Tucker? It's quite funny that his last name is Tucker and he's late all the time, when in the Hannah Payne trial, the defense attorney's name was Tucker, and he was also late all the time. So, silly, silly, silly. Silly, silly, silly. Go get your keyboard, baby. Go tap on your keyboard with your new nails. She's just running around with these. It cracks me up. She looks like Freddy Krueger, though, but she don't know who Freddy Krueger is, so that doesn't offend her when I say that, but all right, all right, all right, all right. So I'm going to share the screen right here for you guys. And let me make the screen big. Now they're a ways into it, right? Yeah, they're about 4 hours into the day. It started early or this morning, so we have some catching up to do. And I know that you guys, it's like early afternoon and or mid afternoon, and you guys are going to be in and out, and that's perfect. So all right, I'm going to hit play, and I'm ready to hear him get waylaid by this judge. All right, let's go. I'm going to mute my mic, and we're going to get to the spot.
State versus Franklin Tucker, 17 CF 841. So, Mr. Tucker, you're 3 minutes late. What's going on?
Your Honor, I actually did call the court. I was at the hospital with Miss Bellamont. I filed an emergency motion because she may not be here to testify on Thursday. She may not be, not only not able, may not be able at all. I was there waiting for the primary physician. I called your office with about a half hour left before court. I could have made it here in time, left my number just so that I could get the advice from the court. But I tried to get...
I'm not so sure why that couldn't have been done over the 3-day weekend.
Because the primary care physician wasn't there, Your Honor. I have no say in his scheduling. But I did go in this morning. He actually, last I checked, He was writing it after I left, because he was with a patient, that's what I was waiting for. But he went ahead and he wrote the letter that you required, and I also asked that he leave a contact so that Your Honor could go ahead and contact him directly. But her situation has apparently gotten critical. She may not be here till Thursday, be here on Thursday or Friday when she would be potentially testifying. If Your Honor would look at the motion, it's explained in there.
Well, okay, that's not my first priority. I'm not sure what motion you're referring to. Well, what is the nature of the motion? What relief are you asking for?
Your Honor, that's exactly what I was just explaining. She's critical. She may not live
But
till
you
Thursday.
explained your condition, but you didn't explain the relief that
Oh,
you're...
no, the relief's in the motion, Your Honor, but what it is really, all I'm trying to do is accelerate.
Notice
Zoom
the
hearing
same
that
thing.
we talked about.
Same
and
thing.
be able to hold it immediately today, as opposed to putting it off till Thursday or Friday.
Yeah, I'm not going to address that right now. We'll get to it. Right now, I'm going to address what I said I was, and that is the discovery or the impeachment material.
Yes, sir.
So, did you get the state the impeachment material that you were intending to use in order to provide?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so state, have you received materials from the defendant?
Judge, we have the materials. Again, my objection is the defendant said any or all of this 2-hour-long IA interview. And again, I'm asking for what portion, what's the inconsistency he's going to impeach, and what portion of that interview is he going to use to impeach it?
Okay. So, Mr. Tucker?
Your Honor, it's impossible for me to say exactly everything I'm going to try and impeach when I haven't finished with my questioning yet. There's no way I could tell him that, I mean, and if she doesn't say something inconsistent, then I can't use it. I mean, it's that simple. I can't exactly say all I'm going to use, but I did limit myself, which I don't think I had to, but I limited myself to those things that I gave to the state.
Well, it's most extraordinary that someone would think that out of a couple hour, or however long it is, tape, that it would be virtually all potential impeachment. I mean, attorneys are expected to be able to provide the opposite side with as specific a notice as possible of what they intend to use or believe is impeachment. So,
I did do that, Your Honor. I just didn't point to specifics in each testimony, which I don't think the state's going to do either.
So, how would you gentlemen like to proceed? I mean, I remember speaking on Friday that you almost anticipated that I would have to view the entire thing. And so that's one of the reasons we're here and put the jurors off until 1 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Judge, let me just apprise the court. The defendant emailed us Saturday morning at noon, which was the deadline, and he said, I plan on using as follows: interview room tapes 1 and 2, IA tape multiple sections. And again, I would ask, we're not going to sit and play a 2-hour IA tape, so I would just ask for what, what's the inconsistency and what portion of the IA tape. I mean, our witness is coming back in today. We're in the middle of cross-examination. We're going to pick up with where? Where do we start? Is he going to try to impeach her right off the bat? Is he going to begin questioning her? Is there already something he feels that he has the right to impeach her on? I'm just not clear where we pick up from today.
Yeah, I mean, Mr. Tucker,
Your Honor,
when the witness is coming, you have to be able to cue this up and present it. We're not going to have what
Exactly.
we had on Friday. We're not going to, that's...
No, I understand, Your Honor.
People back and forth and waiting anymore, so you have to be able to identify what it is you intend to use.
Your Honor, I have identified exactly what I intend to use, and the state should be well aware of all of that evidence since it came from them. So they should have already examined it. They should already know what is potential impeachment material. Just like they don't tell me exactly what they're going to use. They just tell me which exhibits they have.
Well, sir, simply because something's provided in discovery doesn't make it admissible, nor does it mean the state's committed it to memory, nor does it mean it constitutes valid impeachment material. So
I understand that, Your Honor, but I don't know what I'm going to use until I'm finished my questioning, Your Honor.
Okay, well, let's start with the first part. I mean, again, if I have to sit here and watch the whole thing, so be it. But we're not going to have a situation where these jurors are made to wait because
I have no problem with that, Your Honor. You know, I have absolutely no problem with that. I have a flash drive that, that was part of the problem, is just the interface with the technology. I can't exactly plug my laptop in there. I found that out on Friday. Okay, so now that part I have no problem with. I also have no problem with using any of this impeachment material and definitely saying how I'm using it while I'm in the process of questioning the witness. I assume that is customary usually.
no,
right?
this is completely not customary.
No, I mean, it's customary to ask a question if she makes a misstatement, or if she, for lack of a better word, lies, then that's when I bring out a tape.
Okay, well, again,
But I don't have to do that.
again, I got to. What else are we going to do other than to see the thing? And so that's what we're here for. So let's.
I mean, if you would like an example, I could give you one.
No, I don't want a kind of sort of maybe. I want to see this and make rulings, because otherwise I don't see where we've made 1 inch of progress from
Your
Friday
Honor,
afternoon.
if I may,
Yes, sir.
while I am not an attorney, and we've all made that clear, the thing is, okay, the state is not going to tell me anything of any of the evidence that they plan on bringing in until they bring it in, right? They're not. They give it to me the same way. They give it to me in bulk, and I have to go through it and decide what I think they're going to use. Well, I imagine they're the same way.
No, sir. Have you ever seen a prosecutor in 27 plus years of doing this that doesn't have a very clear idea and presents it clearly? Yeah, sometimes there might be some little snippet or something, but not where there's apparently hours of tapes that they are using, frankly, very inartfully.
Okay, I'll tell you exactly one that I plan on using, and it's the hours-long tapes that they're talking about. There's 2 of them, the interview room tapes. Those I'm using to impeach the fact that she said specifically that I wasn't named a suspect till the 22nd, and I was named a suspect because of the testimony of John Travis Johnson and Rory Wilson. Those 2 hours worth of tapes, that's all they're discussing, is me being a suspect.
We're not going to have that. I mean, you can show me, but we're not going to have 2 hours worth of tapes that somehow or other impeaches a minor point. So
no, and I would actually fast forward. I do have the timestamps. I can fast forward to each section that applies to that witness.
Okay, well, let's do it then.
Well, Your Honor, if I might, I'm definitely willing to do that. I'd still like to address the other issue.
I'm not going to address it. I will address it when I'm ready to address it.
No, I was just.
This session, Mr. Tucker, you're starting to stray from the basic parameters here. I set this session for this issue, and that's what I'm going to deal with. And if Ms. Belmonte is unable to, we will deal with it.
Welcome
But if
back,
she's
Tammy.
unable to testify, then we have these deposition to preserve testimony. But one way or the other, I will deal with this once I deal with the issue that I've set.
Okay,
So
I'll tell you what. I'll just play
Judge
it.
is not happy. Yeah, this judge is not happy at all. Not happy at all. And Don, I'm not sure if you saw my comment, in case you're like busy and not looking at the chat. I think he's got reading glasses on top of his head. Yeah, they're reading glasses. I just saw him pull them down to read something. Closing time. Literally, he's gonna be like, he's gonna find what he needs when it's like 5 o'clock, time for them to leave for the day. Hmm. Welcome, welcome, and people, welcome, welcome, people. I hope you guys are having a good day today. It is so cold outside. I had to bribe Poppy to go pee pee and poo poo outside with bacon. She did not want to go outside. So I had to coax her out the door with bacon. Hey, welcome back, JB's mama. Good to see you. Good to see ya. Mm-hmm. JB's mama, if you're not familiar with this trial here that's going on, the Treehouse murders, the Treehouse murder trial from Florida, the dude on the right hand side is the defendant. He's the one accused of murder, and he is defending himself. His counsel withdrew themselves, or he fired them. I don't know. I can't remember which. But he's decided to he just decided to defend himself, and yeah, the judge is not. The judge ain't having it. Judge is like, dude, get your ish together. He is late every day for court. Every day. He's late. He was late again today. The judge had to get on him again today. It's, yeah. I will say, though, yeah, one of those again, yeah. He is much smarter, much more equipped than Daryl Brooks. Just saying. He hasn't done too bad of a job, I don't guess. At least he's not squalling grounds every 5 seconds like Daryl Brooks was. Killed me in that Daryl Brooks case, because every time the prosecution would object, he would scream, grounds, 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 like every. And then it got to the point where, I mean, and he would just keep saying it over and over and over and over. So annoying, but it was also very entertaining. I mean, ugh.
This is why I'm trying to do this now, so we don't have this sort of delay.
You have to forgive me, Your Honor. I was concentrating on Miss Belmont.
Jeez. Oh, Pete.
Yes, it is ours.
Gee, oh. that this judge has been.
So I don't, no, I don't operate that equipment. You're saying that you need the assistance of Terry, is that what you're saying?
I would ask for it only because I don't want to mess with her.
Yeah, the judge is super annoyed.
See if you see him.
I just don't want to take a chance on her.
Very annoyed. And last week, those are those sunglasses? Those are sunglasses. Now, he had reading glasses on last week, but those are sunglasses.
Is she available? Yes. Thank you.
No, we're not throwing balls in here right now, Joey. Yeah, I know, baby. But last week, whenever the judge would get on to him for this, that, or the other, he would be like, he would argue with
Doesn't matter to me. I mean,
the prosecution, and
just
they would bicker and
said I
bicker,
would-
and the judge would have to like,
cannot imagine that there isn't some specific portions of a couple hours that can't be honed in on, but
the
be that
judge
as
would
it
have
may,
to like referee them, and it was literally like
well, and that-
children
well,
trying
that
to
would be
play
hearsay. That would, I mean, there,
court.
you know, if there's some statement that,
and the judge was like
was-
the dad having
was
to
made,
like
that's
get
one
on them
thing,
for
but
not
the
playing
discussion
nicely
between,
together.
Various parties is not impeachment, sir.
The statement that you did not know that the investigator, that I was a suspect until the 22nd, when you had a couple hour-long conversation about it on the 20th. That is impeachment, Your Honor.
Well, sir, you can claim it is, and I make the decisions, and it might be admissible in some form and not the other, but you think you're gonna, anyway, play it, but you're, yeah, good, I hope so.
And I understand your frustration.
No, sir, you don't need to placate me. Just do the business. I'm tired of all the extra fluff. Do what you claim you're going to do. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to. So,
Waiting
which you should have had arranged. Again, if an attorney did this, it wouldn't even be close. I wouldn't have put up with it. I'm bending over backwards to try to facilitate you who doesn't really know what you're doing, and that's not a surprise, but you have the right to represent yourself, but you don't have a right to delay things or to attempt to, you can attempt to, but to admit things that aren't admissible. So in any event, this gentleman now needs one more time some assistance in operating the equipment. So could you give him a hand, please?
Oh, that was good.
Thank you, sir. This is the IA.
Oh, you know what, JB's mama? I'm not sure. Did he, or did he ask for permission? I might have missed that
I'm
part.
sorry, I can't, could you pause? What was it?
Here in charge of internal affairs, 2019-42.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
No, apparently the court reporter has a question. What?
I just wanted to know if it was a video or an audio only.
This one is audio only. Actually, all the other ones are video, but it's only audio. You see a blank, what's it, interrogation.
Jeez, oh.
So yes, they're all audio. This specific.
This interview is being conducted at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. It's the Sheriff's Conference Room, and it's taking place on May 8th, 2020 at approximately 1 p.m.
Good. Please tell me when you get to the part that you want to use, because all of this would not be. No, I don't.
In regards to what's commonly known as has become commonly known as the Treehouse murder. It took place on November 17th, 2017. And the investigation in regard to the management handling of the case investigation.
All that stuff is completely inadmissible.
Esquire, who's a representative for one of the defendants in the case of Tyrone Tucker. Danielle, for identification purposes, please state your full name and spelling.
My name is Danielle, Danielle, Malone, Malone.
Okay, and what is your present rank and do you assign?
I'm currently assigned dispatch as a communications officer.
Okay, and this interview will be recorded, is being recorded with your full knowledge?
Yes.
Also present at this time is
Inspector Donnie Barrios, Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, Internal Records.
and ma'am, if you could introduce yourself, please.
My name is Krista Mena. I'm staff accountant. Also with the Software Policeman Account Association.
Thank you. Okay,
Another male that was much skinnier than Detroit that we were looking for.
and of course, you want to call 911, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. So eventually, Franklin Tucker was identified as a suspect.
Yes.
How did that come? How did he get on the radar?
Well, his name first came up was, I believe, with the Metro PCS name,
Okay.
just because he was with Rory. And then he was,
It is not.
That's all hearsay.
Well, I mean, I understand, but this is apparently the first part that he actually wants to use, where she said his name first came up with the Metro PCS stuff, and I could have swore she testified.
Exactly what you testified to.
She testified that I became a suspect because of Lori Wilson's testimony and Travis Johnson's testimony. I just went through it the other day.
Sir, she testified to that. That is not impeachment.
If I'm wrong, Your Honor, then I'm wrong.
It's not impeachment. That she said that.
also living with Rory. And then he got solidified as a suspect.
If you guys want to sit over here in the jury box or wherever.
Honestly, yes, interview and John Travis Johnson's interview.
His interview being tough.
Yeah, being tough.
How did that?
Well, some of the things like that he said that they all used, I believe they all used John Travis Johnson as they were with him going to buy cigarettes at some point during that night. So they moved them. All
Yeah.
of them linked.
This also brings up my point, Your Honor. I haven't asked some of these questions yet either, right? So I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this yet or not. But now I'm playing it for the state. They could have, again, talked to the witness, whatever. But I mean, if they know what I'm going to, if they know what.
Hey, Gail. Welcome back, honey.
Exact impeachment.
And again, I'm familiar with this interview. I understand what you're saying. My specific question is, what is the inconsistency that he claims she said on the stand, and what portion is he going to use to rebut? That's my only question.
Can I say what her answers are going to be to my questions? No. So how do I tell you?
When we broke on Friday, Judge, we were right in the middle of, he was attempting to impeach her.
One question. That's it. Right? One. Not all. One.
Well, okay, in any event, you know,
I can keep playing it if you want. It's just, again, the witness isn't here. You can keep going if you want.
Themselves together, and they're trying to distance themselves from the crime.
Did the video, I know you mentioned video from the
access to that. We could see on the video a dark colored truck circle the treehouse. Then there's a break, and then the dark colored truck comes back, parks almost right in front of Cosma's, whatever, the marine place, and you would see two people walking away from the truck, and based on the way the one subject was walking and his everything about him is built because of how big he was, that was going to be Detroit. And then the other one, his body type and everything matched Franklin Tyrone Tucker.
I'm sorry, we can't speak over one another. I'm asking where's the impeachment, if that's supposed to be impeachment.
Everything that you told us.
This is an hour, again, an hour long, maybe an hour long. Hold on, I can tell you in a second. This is how long tape. She actually has asked about this more than once. And okay, just in this one alone, she says, yes, you know, this verifies it, as this tape verifies this, which we established at length on Friday, that no, it doesn't.
And she said as much. She said,
She did eventually.
We stopped the tape right where she says, Travis Johnston, what we see in the video matches up with what Travis Johnson told him.
she readily acknowledged that she can't see faces. She puts things together. This is a piece of the puzzle, sir. So if you think, Mr. Tucker, once again, you are deteriorating into interrupting. She doesn't say she can now see the faces. She is putting the evidence together. So there's no impeachment there. Yes, sir.
I don't mean to interrupt.
Well, you do constantly. But we take our turns, and you don't seem to get that. We talk one at a time because it's polite, it's the way to communicate, and it's the way the court reporter can get the information in the record. So in any event.
I'm very sorry.
Okay, sir.
But it doesn't feel like you're listening to me.
Oh, I'm listening very much. It doesn't feel like you're listening to me, but be that as it may, that ain't impeachment.
No, so far it is not. You're correct, Your Honor. But I also said, there is additional in this tape. You know, it's not the only time they bring this up.
Well, okay, let's hear it, because I'm trying to avoid the jury being, delayed.
I understand.
Matched up to the video that he was the getaway driver that he took off because he got freaked out.
Okay.
And all of it matched up, so.
Okay. Was there any other video? I know there's mention in the reports here somewhere, some video talked about.
There's a video of the outside of Tom Thumb. It's not actually Tom Thumb's video.
Oh, okay.
Tom Thumb, we attempted to get the video. They gave us the video as their own date, and then we just never could. Every time we tried to get video from him, it just didn't work out.
Did, say the night of the incident, I know things go crazy. There's no doubt about that, but do you know if any detective, any road patrol deputy did go to Tom Thumb to see if they could roll back their video?
Me personally, I don't know if anybody did.
Okay.
I'm sure they did, but I don't know if anybody did.
Okay. Now.
All right, Gail.
Video.
He almost blew his top a few times this morning.
The warehouse where they live. It's at the corner of 3rd and 4th, I believe. Yeah, 4th and 3rd. Right, Tony's roof, that area.
Yeah.
That intersection. Did you see any of that video?
Yes.
Okay, what did you see on that?
Just two subjects walking, I believe there was two, they were walking towards what would be Tom Thumb and or the treehouse.
Your Honor, to clarify, there are sections in here that, again, I haven't asked questions for yet. I don't know if she's going to lie about it. I don't know if she's going to tell the truth. So I don't know whether or not I'm going to use them. There is another section here at 2022 that I'm going to fast forward to because that's actually believe it's relevant to the question that was on the table.
Right, guys. I know. I know. That judge, he's got the patience of Job. Oh my God. You know, he wants to come down off that bench and just thump him on the head.
I believe that the night of the search warrant, John Travis Johnson wasn't on our radar yet. We didn't have the video showing the getaway driver. And nobody at the scene had mentioned, John Travis Johnson yet.
Okay.
Because we didn't know there was a third guy.
Oh.
So John wasn't on our radar whatsoever. Franklin Tyrone Tucker got released that night. Rolling into jail.
Okay.
We eventually get the video showing that there was a getaway driver.
And right there,
And
video showing that there's a getaway driver. That is not a video showing there's a getaway driver.
The video shows a truck pull up, drop people off and leave. That is what she's referring to.
I'm sorry, Mr. Tucker. Once again, you're stepping on somebody when they're speaking. That's not how we do it. So, okay, so don't do it. Go ahead, Mr.
The
Mc.
witness is referring to a getaway driver. She's clearly, and she's articulate, she's referring to the videotapes where it shows the truck pull up, drop people off and leave. That's what she's referring to as. I don't see an inconsistency in this video and what she's saying.
John, if I may.
Yes, sir.
The reason I did step on Mr. Mansfield's toes is because he agreed with me yesterday that we both conceded. You cannot see the truck leave. He just said the truck leaves. No, you cannot see that.
Sustain the objection. It's a plausible explanation and interpretation. It's not impeachment.
Your Honor,
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, you don't see the truck leave. You don't see a getaway driver sitting there. You cannot say that there's a getaway driver in the vehicle if you can't see it leave or you can't see somebody sitting there.
Objection sustained. Let's go on to the next.
I'll go and take this tape out then. Or turn this one off. Because the other ones, like I said, I have questions that I want to ask before I use it.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll just, I don't know what else to do other than but please be ready to do so in a, timely manner as opposed to making the jurors wait, because I'm not going to have that again.
Your Honor, I apologize. I'm trying to be as clear and trying to be as specific as possible. I haven't asked the question yet, so there's no way for me to know if she's going to lie or not.
Wonder why he's wearing sunglasses in the courtroom. I mean, it's one thing having him on his head, which he shouldn't have them on his head.
Appropriate manner and not
Now, I think last week he had reading glasses that he wore on top of his head. But
in any event, I'll just leave it.
I don't know, guys. I don't know.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out, because so far your notion of what impeachment is a far cry from what legally is. So in any event, so now we've got this.
He's like, you're stretching, dude. You're stretching.
Mr. Tucker, I did file a supplemental discovery on the 12th. I found out about him speaking, so I was checking because I filed a motion to exclude these items. There's 7 items listed. It's a true homestead video from this Paul Del Monte, an IA report, investigation report and exhibits by Mr. Colonel Chad Scabilia, the Logan County Sheriff's Office, a letter of recommendation. And he goes on to list any and all
Okay, so let me start again. I think I've got I think I've got it up here. I'm just trying to set the stage here that the state received supplemental discovery on January 12th, and so you're not even saying it's a discovery violation, you're just saying that it's a inadmissible?
I'm saying it's inadmissible, Judge. I mean, I would just, I guess for keeping things simple, I'm not gonna claim discovery violation, but these are all.
I don't think so, Tammy. I mean,
As pertaining to this case, there are collateral matters.
he's just trying to keep him in line.
States the opinion that under the evidence code, we are not admissible.
Okay, so now, defense. Go ahead.
I was just asking. Your Honor, I did look at the evidence code, and I did, I have looked at this, can't remember maybe things I made mistakes in their summaries. As far as the ones where it is,
Agreed, Dawn.
That was left in from my previous attorneys. So that was actually, that's been in there the entire time. And you're bringing it to the court's attention now. Now that was, again, from that. And I also would imagine, yes, depending on what happens during the course of this trial, any of that could be brought. But whether or not it's admissible depends on the circumstances. I would correct that. That's what I would imagine. It's just like we're, again, any of this may or may not be admissible depending on what she says on the stand. And, I did go ahead and look at the evidence code, and there were a few things in there, but yes, the documents from the IA reports, those are reports that are standard reports from the police department, and it is in the evidence code that those would be admissible.
Anything further from the state? Well, it's awfully difficult for me to just, with one broad brush stroke, just eliminate all that. I don't know. It seems unlikely, but maybe there's some nugget in there that, could be admissible. It's really hard for me to say right now.
Judge, I think we understand where your court's coming from. Our concern is this. I think we've already established Mr. Tucker's confusion that he's not going to create an hour IA interview and the jury's not going to hear it. This is IA investigator, blah, blah, blah. And I mean, that's an hour of hearsay is what that is. And irrelevance, other than if there's an inconsistent statement made on the stand and there's a specific portion that addresses that inconsistent statement, I would concede that might be admissible. But as we just heard, what Mr. Tucker is perceiving to be impeachment is not. And that's my concern is that, before the jury hears or sees anything, I want to know what he's going to play them because I don't think there's impeachment in there. It's certainly not so far. And before that's done, I'd like to hear what he's going to play to the jury before that attempt to impeachment is made.
I think I can agree to that. Actually, if this all were a solution, I don't know. But I didn't plan on playing the entire tape. I gave you the entire tape so that you could look at it and see what I may or may not be. It's just
The
like
judge is preposterous to suggest that a truck somehow phantomly drives itself. If a truck pulls up,
That would be hilarious.
Okay.
I want to file an appeal because I sucked at representing myself.
Proper procedure is for the proponent of the evidence to have it honed in to what they believe is admissible in impeachment, and to not just keep a jury waiting for an inordinate amount of time while we do something that we should have done before. As far as these materials that were listed as supplemental materials, again, I'm not going to just make a blanket ruling, but to the extent that if there is something that Mr. Tucker believes is admissible before it's offered, we should alert the state and the court, and we'll have to have a hearing outside the presence of the jury to determine whether it is admissible. So that's the court's ruling as to that. Okay, so now have you seen the defendant's motion about emergency motion for immediate appearance? Had you seen that? Okay, so did you want to be heard on that?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
As I told you, and I gave my solutions in the motion, but Paula has taken a turn for the worse. It's not expected that she can make it as long as, to get to the defense side of things. I did consult with my advisors. They said that it's not uncommon for a witness to go out of order, but that I should alert the court of the circumstances. And yes, Your Honor, I was attempting to get the primary care physician's recommendation for you and his contact information so you can verify it yourself.
Okay, so you haven't come up with anything in writing then?
I do have a handwritten note by Ms. Belmont as to her wishes. The primary care physician, that's why I was late this morning, and I contacted the court to let them know. But yes, the primary care physician, as far as I know at this point, was writing the letter when I was on my way over here.
All right, so if I understand correctly, that even though we don't have the information documented that she is, to quote the motion, her health is at a critical point, and she, again, to quote the motion, could be eminently fatal. So I had agreed earlier that she could testify by Zoom at the defendant's case. Now they're asking that the evidence be taken out of order in the midst of the state's case. So that's...
And I would object to that, Judge. I wanted the court to be aware. She was posting all weekend back and forth with Mr. Tucker. Either one was posting. There were pictures of them together. She was complimenting him, what a great job he's doing. She was laughing at the fact that I raised an issue about him staring at us during the presentation. She announced at one point in one of the postings, I don't know who posted it, one of them, that she was going to be released today, and she reposted she'd be released today, but she wasn't going to have one of our people sitting in the room with her, as I had made the request last week. So she seemed to be posting fine all weekend long, and then this morning we're told that she's on her, her dying breath. So until Your Honor is able to get more information, I would object it. I mean, we're in the middle of a witness right now. And the state hasn't even rested its case yet. So I don't know. This is the reason her testimony was preserved, because we were told she was on her deathbed 6 years ago. So her testimony was preserved. I can't envision why we would somehow rush this testimony in the middle of our case and let the defense present a witness in the middle of the state's case and somehow tell the jury that's not part of the state's case, table that information for the defense case. I just think it would be highly improper and extremely confusing to this jury.
He's true. There was a picture posted, the defendant with the Paula chick this weekend.
Because I haven't been paying attention to my Facebook. Yes, I did post a picture of Paula and I last night when I was in the hospital with her. And yes, they did inform me that in fact she alerted me in the morning to her condition. I went to the hospital, the nurse was there. They verified that yes, her condition is in that state, but I could not, I'm not a doctor. I wanted to know from her doctor for Your Honor, right? Because I knew that was going to be something you would want to see. And yes, I was there this morning. He wasn't there yesterday. I was there this morning trying to get that, and he is now apparently off of that. Now the state may be mad about her posting whatever, but that doesn't tell you her health. It doesn't tell you that whether or not she's going to.
I'm not worried about her posts. I'm not. I mean, in terms of this issue, if it's some other issue, I'm not worried about the post as far as that's concerned. Yes, sir.
Again, I know you have to preserve testimony, so do they. Now, again, I looked at Marcy's law, and yes, she has the right to testify at any hearing. The victim's rights are clear. And all it says is that we have to make, every accommodation we can, or reasonable accommodation is what it says, right? Now, reasonable accommodation, I think it ought to be more than reasonable. she is that ill, and if the doctor says that, then why can't?
Anything further? I'm hearing about Marcy's Law now. I mean, it's kind of interesting because in 99% of the cases, the defendant would be not desirous of the witness, the alleged victim, being accommodated, quote unquote. In this case, is different, which is fine, but that's been brought up.
Judge, first of all, I'm not mad at anything. I want to clear that up. I'm just bringing to the court's attention information I have. I have a job to do and I'm doing it. So I'm not mad about anything. She's not a state witness. She's not a good state witness. She's on our witness list. What she's going to testify to, we're already aware of it. It's in her preserved transcripts as well. But I don't think anything has been brought forward that would require this court to make those drastic accommodations at this point.
Anything else from the defense?
We've already admitted that it hasn't been brought forward yet, Your Honor, and yes, it is in the process.
All right, so here's what. I indicated that I would allow her to testify by Zoom from the hospital. I used my discretion. I could have said at that point no, but I felt that that was the fair, best thing to do. But at this particular point in time, I'm not going to force the state to, have a witness, adverse witness, called out of order when we have a deposition to preserve. My discretion at that particular point would be to say, if she's unable to testify by Zoom, then she can be heard when it's the defense's turn with the deposition to preserve. That's why it was done. I'm not going to force the state to have a witness taken out of order. Yes? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If, again, this is an if, but if the primary care physician confirms what the defense is telling,
Yes.
And she is still wanting to testify, as is her right. Again, I mean, yes, we have, and to make it clear, in that motion, when we proposed her for that, we did the motion to perpetuate. It was on the condition that.
So, Gail, the thing is that the getaway driver isn't saying that it was the defendant that was is that what you mean? You say, isn't the driver of the truck saying it was him, the defendant? I'm not sure, but what he's trying to do right now is impeach that last witness that was on the stand Friday, I guess. And she was saying that it was the getaway driver, blah, 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 and he's saying there's no way to tell that. He's just trying to pick apart any little thing he can to impeach that witness. And that's what this part was about. But the Paula chick that's in the hospital that they're talking about now is the one that he allegedly stabbed in the throat or the neck. But the crazy thing is she is his witness, and she says that he's not the one that did it, that he's innocent. It's the kookiest, craziest story, right? It's like, what? I don't understand. I mean, you would think if she's saying he's not the one that did it, but at the same time, that Roger Rabbit character, Rabbit is not his real last name, I know that, but I call him Roger Rabbit. When he was on the stand, he was saying that the guys both had on skeleton masks, and you couldn't see their faces, so how did she know who it was, I don't know. Okay, we'll continue on.
She would be unavailable, right? Unavailability, I looked up in the law too. Unavailability I'm just asking, would Your Honor change his opinion if he has the doctor's note in his hand?
No, I don't believe that the state should be compelled to allow or to have a witness taken out of order when
Well,
there's another
Tammy,
way
I
that
think
witness
because
is able
she's
to
saying
testify
that
during
he's
the,
innocent,
defense's
I
case when
don't
they
think
wanna
that
call
they're
it during the
interested in
deposition.
calling
So
her.
at that point in time, my discretion is that the
And
utilization
they
of the
know
deposition
that
to preserve.
that
Yes,
the
sir.
defendant, was going to call her as his
Well,
witness,
you are.
so
but,
they were going to be able
you
to
don't
cross-examine
decline,
her.
But you are.
As the defense, the prosecution as well.
Mm-hmm.
And they argue themselves. There's a big difference between somebody giving live testimony
Right.
and the video deposition.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think it's highly prejudicial to this case. It's highly prejudicial to the defendant. It is highly prejudicial to our case if that witness is allowed to, again, succumb to fatal injuries and not be allowed to testify. I also think it does go right against Marcia's law. She is allowed to testify at any hearing.
Yes, sir. I understand what you think, and I think otherwise. So that's why the deposition to perpetuate. I was told years ago, we need this, Judge. We got to move. We got to get this done. And lo and behold, now perhaps it's going to be necessary. I was willing to allow her to testify by Zoom. In your case, where I draw the line is to force your opponent to have their case interrupted by this testimony when it can be presented during your case, albeit by deposition to perpetuate. So irrespective of what the medical opinion is, the court's not going to allow this witness to be taken out of order. So that's the.
I don't know if I'm wrong. I may very well be, but I was also informed by my advisors or my attorneys that this is not uncommon. That it is not uncommon to go out of order. That sometimes it's even done for things such as vacation, much less somebody who may not be around to testify.
It happens. It's true. It does happen. That doesn't mean. I understand what you can't see. I'm not going to force the state. Oh, guys, you got to stop right here. You've got to let Mr. Tucker present a star witness right in the middle of your case when we've got a deposition perpetuate. I don't think that's fair, and I think there's another way that you can get that testimony here. That's my decision, and that's how I see it. So, and unless there's something else, we have more materials to review, or?
Judge, at this point in time, we have a witness coming in at noon. I guess the jury will be here at 1. Again, Mr. Tucker said that he's got other impeachment, but he doesn't know if he's going to use it or not. Again, the court's already made this clear that impeachment is a specific area. It's not a 2-hour tape. And I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens as the witness is testifying and see what Mr. Tucker's trying to use to impeach.
Okay, I've done everything I can to try to make it as smooth as possible. We expect any other witnesses this afternoon, or?
Judge, that's the only one we figured by the time the cross is done and the
Judge is killing me. He is giving me life.
We don't know timing. Maybe it would be prudent to have the court hear this IA interview that you keep referring to, Mr. Tucker.
That's not a.
Not the IA, the light tape or whatever that is.
It's 2 hours worth of tape. I'll do it.
Again,
Yeah, I can't tell you specifically what I'm using.
Okay.
But she has a second.
All right, well, then, it's pointless then, other than to expect the defense to be able to at least cue in on that part that they believe is impeachment. That's all I can ask, is that you have the,
Your Honor, I'll make sure.
okay, so,
I think that's it, Judge, for now.
okay, we'll see you at 1 o'clock, or maybe 12:55.
Oh my goodness. This is crazy pants. Crazy pants. Oh, it looks like he has a jacket and a tie on underneath that sweatshirt. Did you see that? I didn't notice that before. So Don says the only case that I've seen crazier was Daryl Brooks. Yep, that was well, but I mean, here's the thing. So here's the thing with that. You have the actual case of Daryl Brooks' case wasn't crazy as much as the trial was, right? The trial, like, the story of what happened was horrible. You know, the Waukesha parade, and all of that. That was tragic, right? It was awful, horrible. Um, and the testimonies and the witnesses and all of that stuff was not. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the actual thing that was a circus show in that particular trial was Daryl Brooks. He was the circus show. And with this particular trial, this particular case, the story itself is crazy. I mean, you have this guy, just the story itself is crazy. I mean, one of the witnesses is like that was victimized is like, yeah, the guy that's on trial for the murder isn't the guy that stabbed me. But they have evidence to say, or supposed evidence to say, that he is. However circumstantial that evidence may be. But just the story itself is crazy. And then to top it off, you have the guy that's wanting to defend himself. And all of that jazz. So, sorry, my hair is crazy. Hold on. Oh, these headphones. I like the headphones. I love the headphones. They're comfortable and stuff. But whenever I'm here during the day with the kids, they're too, like, they're not noise canceling, but they are, like, I can't hear everything, right? So I prefer to wear like one AirPod. That way I can hear good from everywhere else and stuff. So, hey, Bog Frog, welcome. Hi from the Netherlands. Hi and welcome. Welcome, welcome. Are you interested in this case, this crazy kooky case? Crazy kooky trial? But yeah, honest to goodness, in Daryl Brooks, he was the circus show. With this trial, I feel like the whole thing is crazy pants. The whole thing is, my favorite word is cuckoo cachoo. And I feel like the whole thing is like that. Tammy says, then you have Mr. Yes. Stated they couldn't tell who was there because they had skull masks on. And they all been doing drinking and drugs. Oh, now I know why you call him Mr. Yes. Ah, that's funny. I know why you call him Mr. Yes. It's because he was always like, yes, 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 yes. And then when they said to you, did you sell? He's like, no. Ah, super cute. I loved that part. Henny says, hoy, hoy, bog frog. Bog Frog says, something very weird about this case. Yes, I love watching it. Daryl Brooks was a nutcase, but not this guy. Seems pretty smart. I think he's got some smarts about him. Definitely not as nut jobby as Daryl Brooks. I just think it's kind of nuts in general to want to represent yourself, especially when you are on trial for murder. And he's very, he's been late every single morning, I think. And the judge is constantly having to remind him to, behave, don't interrupt. That's not what this means. That's not what that means, his name was Roger Ruckett or Racket or something like that, but it sounded like Roger Rabbit to me, so that's why I call him Roger Rabbit. Oh, okay. Dutch for hello. Okay. Hello. Hello. Oh, LOL. Dutch for hello. LOL. Hoy. So is it pronounced hoy? Like hoy? I don't know. The two survivors, Oquin and Paula Belmonte, say it wasn't Tucker. They knew him very well and would have recognized him. Maybe. And you know what? I'm not going to say that he's guilty. I'm not going to say he's guilty because I don't know if he is or not, right? But I do feel like, I mean, he's saying he's being railroaded. I don't know if it's true, but I do want to know what evidence they have besides just circumstantial things, if they have anything. I don't know. The last witness that was the investigator or I can't remember if she was an investigator. I don't remember what her title was, but she was, when he kept saying, what, basically asking her, what proof do you have that it was me? And she just kept saying something about the other guy's testimony, and I don't know. Case already caused people getting fired in law enforcement, and so far we've not seen any evidence it was Tucker. Seems all they have is the word from those guys. I thought theirs was no DNA either. I can't remember if they said that there was any DNA, but I feel like he said that they didn't have any DNA or fingerprints or anything. So, I don't know. I would like to know, though, more about the reason why she wasn't fired. She was demoted or something like that, wasn't she, to like a desk position or something like that? Judge said yesterday verbatim, if the investigation violated, no, Joey, don't do that, baby. Ooh, here. If the investigation violated all standards, that's not relevant. That surprised me because it is very relevant. Huh. I missed that part. 911 position. Oh, she took a 911 like dispatch position? Really? You guys are confusing the snot out of me. Imagine two DNA samples getting mixed up, causing the wrong person to be put in jail. That's not relevant. Are you kidding me, Judge? Okay, she's now a 911 operator. I just kind of wonder, what why the other two guys want to frame this guy for it. You know? Yeah, I remember that part, Dom, where she said she didn't want to see that stuff anymore. But that's kind of odd, right? To say that she didn't want to see what she was seeing as a cop when, as a 911 operator, I would feel so helpless, I think, as a 911 operator with someone on the other end of the line in desperate for help, when something awful is going on. I mean, people usually call 911 in like, well, I mean, for all kinds of reasons, but it's always, not always, but usually life threatening situations, right? Somebody breaks in, somebody gets hurt, somebody's in a car accident, it's a young kid gets injured, I would just feel completely helpless as a 911 dispatcher. Mm. Glad we agree. To me, it seems the judge is biased. Maybe it's just me. I don't know if he feels biased as much as he just, um, I don't know. I mean, I guess it depends on the person, their perspective, but to me, I just keep getting the vibe that he's just very irritated, trying to let this guy have as much leeway as he can, um, in representing himself, but also trying not to like flip out on him for just any reason that he would want to. I mean, if it were me, I would be like, just go sit down, go sit down, go sit down. I'm not sure. Did he say whether he had an alibi? Uh, Tired of him trying to defend himself and not knowing what he's doing and not listening to the judge. Hmm. We'll see some fireworks. Captain Penny Phelps takes the stand. She really messed up much more than Malone. Wow, Bog Frog, you seem to really know a lot more about this case than I. I mean, I hadn't even heard of it. I hadn't had heard nothing about this case when we started talking about it the other day. I just kind of saw it one day whenever I was scrolling through, and I was like, "Ooh, that sounds interesting." And I always love a good, you know, self defense. Mostly, Tucker was in the warehouse with the others, and one of them, Johnson, said he was with him and he did it, but there is no evidence. I remember the warehouse situation. JB's mama says now I'm definitely going to have to catch up on day 1 and day 2. Oh, JB's mama, it's been pretty kooky. That Roger Rabbit, I keep calling him Roger Rabbit. I can't remember what his real last name is, but he was, they call people character witnesses. It's a whole new perspective, perspective on the word character witness, because literally he was a witness and he's a character and a half. So he was a cool one to watch. Yeah, he was something else to watch. Definitely. All right, you guys, it is, I can't remember exactly how long their break was going to be, but I wanted to take that little bit of a break to chit chat with you guys for a minute before we resume back. I'm going to speed it up to where they're back from their break, and then I'm going to uh, keep it playing, keep it going for you guys, and then I'm going to run for a potty break, and the husband should be home soon, so say hi to him, and all that jazz. So definitely worth watching, right, Don? On Court TV, they said Tucker was offered a deal for time served if he agreed to testify against Wilson, but he refused because he said he was not there. So if he took the deal, he would have been a free man today. Seems a matter of principle for Tucker. He just doesn't want to lie, and now they are after him. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. All right, you guys. I'm going to mute my mic, and I'm going to speed this up till they come back from break, and then I will rejoin in a few minutes.
Hey, good afternoon. Street versus Franklin Tucker, 17841. Looks like we have prosecutors, defendant, court personnel. I think the witness is back there. What about the jurors? Are they here? Okay, so unless there's something else, I guess we'll bring him in.
No, just a few housekeeping.
Wait, what is it?
Just, we would ask the court to require that the microphone stays on the podium. And if Mr. Tucker needs to talk on the microphone, it's on the podium. It's very distracting when he grabs the mic and wanders around the courtroom. I think it looks cavalier and it's improper. It's not a game show, right? It's a trial. So we're asking for that, and we're asking for any kind of, apologizing to the jury for this and apologizing to the jury. I think it's pandering to the jury at this point. I think we just need to move on with the actual case.
Does the defendant want to respond to any of those concerns?
Yes, sir, Your Honor. And I understand the prosecution's frustration if I do approach the table where I approach the prosecutors, and I shouldn't have the microphone in my hand. I noticed I did that. When I ran back later, I did do that at one point. I shouldn't be doing that. That is correct. But you yourself, Your Honor, told me to grab the microphone when I was up at the screen, and I would suggest that I'd still be allowed to do that. That way, the jury can still hear me when I'm up at the screen. As far as the apologies, I just happen to be a polite person. I try to be, and if you would like me to curb my apologies, I can try to do that as well.
All right, thank you. I believe that the reason that Mr. Tucker was invited to use the handheld was because he's soft-spoken. And this helps get him on the record. Am I speaking correctly there, Monica? Yes, she's nodding her head affirmatively. So I believe that I'm not going to order him not to use the handheld. In terms of how the jury sees that, who knows? I mean, frankly, trial attorneys are very aware of all these sorts of subtle things and intangible things, and they try to avoid things that would alienate or create certain impressions in the jurors' minds. But in this particular instance, I think you've got enough on your mind where I'm not going to tell you you can't use the handheld microphone, because I believe that it does facilitate the hearings. That's number one. As far as apologies, I don't think that this is some strategy on Mr. Tucker's part. I think it's a product of feeling uncomfortable and maybe not wanting to offend. I think you might be, again, but this is not a court order, so, to the extent you got to be yourself, be yourself. I think you're probably too, what should I say, sensitive about apologizing, but I'm not going to tell you that you can't do it again. I think those are more style than they are any kind of strategy. So that's how I would see those things. So let's bring them in. Yes. You all can be seated if you care to.
All jurors present in the courtroom, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please be seated, everyone. And good afternoon, folks. I guess you all got the phone message after I told you to be here at 9:15 on Tuesday morning. Then something came up, and it seemed like that would be a situation where if you showed up at 9:15 this morning, you've been in a wait mode again. So I made a decision that it would be preferable just to try to get you a phone message and reset things at 1 o'clock. So thank you very much for your flexibility with that. Again, I try my best to be mindful of your time, try my best to assess how things are going and deal with the situation as the case goes. As I mentioned before, logistics and unexpected things occur in virtually every case. So we're big picture, we're on schedule. I talked about last Monday when we had our first qualifications, the time period we had. So big picture, we're still on schedule, and thank you very much for being flexible. We all really appreciate it. But we're back here on the record in State versus Franklin Tucker, 17-841. Where we left off was the continued testimony of Danielle Malone. She's here, so if you'd please come forward, ma'am. Step right up to the witness stand. You can have a seat. So I remind you, you're still under oath. That still carries over since the beginning of your testimony. And we're still in the midst of the defendant's cross-examination, so Mr. Tucker can proceed. Yes.
Your Honor, do you mind if I move the podium a little bit closer to the witness?
No, it's okay.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Ms. Moore. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try and make this as quick as I possibly can. Ms. Malone, you testified that you were charged with handling the collection of video evidence. Is that correct? Some video evidence in the case.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then you were put in charge of collecting that, right? From different places.
I was asked, yes, sir.
Okay. And I remember one of them, was it CVS? Am I correct in saying that?
Yes.
Okay, good. What about Tom Thumb? Were you charged with collecting video from Tom Thumb?
No.
Okay. And do you know if there was video ever collected from Tom Thumb?
I picked up a CD from Tom Thumb that was requested by another deputy or detective.
I may be confused here. You just said you weren't in charge of collecting video from Tom Thumb, and then you collected a CD from Tom Thumb?
Yes, the detective that was supposed to retrieve the video wasn't ready on time. They asked me to pick up what they had requested.
Okay, so you were put in charge of collecting a video from Tom Thumb?
I was asked to pick it up. I wasn't in charge of it.
Okay, maybe it might be semantics. It may be just the way I'm asking you. I'm Okay, so you did pick up a CD from Tom Thumb. Did you ever view the CD that you got from Tom Thumb?
No,
Okay. And is that the only ones that you did, CVS and Tom Thumb?
I believe so, yes.
All right, and you never reviewed Tom. How about the CVS? Did you ever review the CVS video, the videotapes from CVS?
Yes,
Okay, and was there anything of evidentiary value on those CDs?
no.
And, let's see. Okay, and did you, yeah, I know we've talked about some of your tasks that you had in the days after the crime. Were you ever tasked with photoshopping a lineup picture of me?
I was tasked with preparing a photo lineup, yes.
And what would that preparation entail?
Going through all the mugshots that we had in the MCSO database and finding 6 pictures of subjects that have the same characteristics, you know, same race, male, female, we try to get like the same type of shirt, same background, same size picture of their face, so no one photo stands out from another photo.
But it was never, you never altered any of the photos at all?
I did not.
Okay. Do you know if any of them were?
Yes.
Okay. And was that a yes, you know, or a yes, they were altered?
Yes, somebody photoshopped them.
Okay, just check. Okay, so, do you know if those photos were ever used for a lineup?
I believe so, but I had no part in that photo lineup.
You had no part in that one. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, thank you. And let's see, we got that. As far as your other collection of evidence, I think we went over that. You were only there for the knife, is that correct? You were there for the collection of the knife?
I was not there for the collection of the knife.
See, that's where I must have misheard. Were you there for the collection of any other evidence in this case?
I mean, I didn't take part of any real collection of evidence that was used in this case. I was there, like, on the scene the night that crime scene processed. I was there the day that the mask was found in the boat, but I personally didn't take any part in collecting that evidence.
Okay, none of that evidence. What about Paula's backpack?
Yes.
Okay, yes, you were there, or yes, you collected it?
Yes, I collected it.
Okay. And approximately, I don't expect, I know it's been a long time, approximately.
Hey, Kel. Hey. I'm back, guys. Sorry. I saw Bog Frog had to leave. Yeah, I was just taking care of a few things around the house. I had to put this shirt back. I had this shirt on yesterday, and it was laying over here on the end of the bed, and I was like, I'm freezing, and I've got a short sleeve t-shirt on under this, but I had to put this back on because it is so cold. I went to let the dog out again, and oh my God, it is freezing. Let me see what the temperature is outside. It's so cold. Okay, well, it says 18 degrees right now, but there's no way. It feels way colder than that. I don't know what it is with the wind chill, but whew, doggies. It's cold, for sure. And I got crackers. I'm hungry. All right, let's continue. Continue.
How long was that after the crime?
I believe it was December 7th.
And where was that evidence collected from?
It was in Big Pine.
Okay, and was there any explanation as to how it got to Big Pine?
It was at a house that John Travis Johnson, the getaway driver, was working at after.
It was a house John Travis Johnson was working at.
Yes.
Okay. And did John Travis Johnson ever explain how that
Oh,
got there?
congratulations,
I don't know,
ladies.
I'm sure he
Congratulations.
did, but I wasn't part of that interview.
Just asking. Okay. And how did that come to be found? How did they find her backpack there?
The homeowner went to go change the air filter in her air conditioner, and in the air conditioner closet, she saw the backpack in the back of that closet underneath the air handler.
Okay, just to be clear, was it in the air vent, or was it in the closet, or was it in the back? I mean, where was it actually located?
So she had central air, so she had the big AC air handler that had its own, like, utility closet. It was raised up a little bit on, like, legs, so it wasn't sitting flush with the floor. And it was underneath that, and that, not really a closet, it's like the air handler storage space.
So it wasn't out in the open, though?
No, it was up behind a closed door.
Okay, and up underneath because again, I'm trying to picture this, but up underneath the vent?
Not really a vent, but underneath the air handler, like the actual AC
Oh, the AC unit itself?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so it was up underneath the AC?
Yes.
Okay. And you said it was found by the homeowner?
Yes.
Okay. And how did they know it was Paula's backpack?
I believe they opened it.
Okay. And, from, I guess I'm still trying to picture here. They opened it, how did that make it Paula's backpack when they opened it?
If I recall correctly, Paula's EBT card was inside the backpack
Okay, so
with her name on it.
Paula's EBT card.
Yes.
And that was all taken into evidence?
It was taken into property, yes.
Okay, and so you took it from Big Pine back to headquarters?
I don't believe so. I don't believe that's where I took it.
Okay, and where did you take it?
I probably took it to the Special Operations Building in Marathon, where Major Crimes main office was.
The Major Crimes main office? Okay.
Yes.
And was it then put into some kind of lockup or security, secured area?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And immediately afterwards, or was that longer?
It was secured in my possession the entire time.
Secured in your possession?
Yes, sir.
Is that against MCSO policy?
It is against their standard practices, yes.
Okay. And did you have a sustained IA complaint anytime during this investigation?
Objection relevance.
I'll sustain the objection.
Considering this specific piece of evidence, was, you just said it was outside of MCSO policy, were you ever reprimanded for?
Objection relevance, Your Honor.
I'll overrule that objection if there's, as to this particular piece of evidence.
I'm sorry, could you?
Yes, I can repeat. Were you ever reprimanded for this specific piece of evidence for mishandling it?
Yes.
Okay. And that is the only other piece of evidence that you took into possession, correct?
It was property, and no, that's not the only property that I took into my possession during the course of the case.
Okay. What other pieces of evidence, property, I don't know whether the term, to be specific, but would it be any other evidence, any other property that you took possession of?
I took possession of items that was in John Travis Johnson's truck after the search warrant.
Okay, what would those be?
It was a fairly long list, but it would be a digital scale that had marijuana residue on it, some marijuana pipes, I believe. There was, I think it all had to do with drug paraphernalia.
Mostly drug paraphernalia.
Yes, sir.
How about knives? Did you take any knives?
No, that would have all been done by crime scene.
Oh, by crime scene? Okay. Let's back up for just a second, because I want to make sure I'm correct here. You were there for the search of the truck, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is that when you took these drug paraphernalia? Is that when you took that into possession?
Yes, sir.
Okay. and crime scene would have taken the other items into possession at that time, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what did you do with the drug paraphernalia once you took that into possession?
Placed it into our property division for destruction.
For destruction. Okay, that makes sense. Now, when you did that, was there any time lapse there? I mean, did you take it right there, or was it, again, in your possession for longer?
It was in my possession for
Okay.
a day or so before it got placed into the evidence locker.
Okay, and were you ever reprimanded for that?
Yes.
And let's see, now we've gone over the items from the truck. Is there anything else?
I don't believe so, not that I recall.
Okay, so no more property, no more evidence.
I don't believe so.
Okay, and I think we pretty much cleared up the videos too, correct? That there was CVS, it was Tom Thumb, and that would be it, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, and you said you didn't know what happened to the photo lineup. The photo lineup that you arranged.
Correct.
Okay. And let's see. Is there anything else that you did as far as the collection of evidence or, photo lineups? Anything we haven't discussed?
Not that I can recall.
Okay. All right. And in here, make sure we're all on point here. I think I'd like to subject this witness to recall, if that's okay, and I think I'll end my questioning.
I'm sorry, you said you're complete with cross at this point?
I'm complete with cross at this point, Your Honor, but I would like to subject the witness to recall.
Okay, well, so, thank you. State have redirect examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
He acted completely shocked by that, right? He was like, "Oh, really?
Hello.
You're done?
Good
Really?
afternoon.
Already?"
Nice to see you again. I'm going to go over some points that the defendant in this case brought up with you. I'd like to start off with Anathea Clay. Do you remember the questions that he asked you about?
Yes, sir.
And I think he referred to Ms. Clay as a suspect, a murder suspect. Do you remember him referring to her that way?
Yes, sir.
Okay, was she, during the course of your investigation, did she ever rise to the level of a murder suspect?
No, sir.
And would that be because perhaps you didn't have enough corroborating evidence?
Yes, sir.
Was she ever placed at the scene of the crime?
No, sir.
Okay, and you know that because you had conversations with other individuals that were involved with the crime, correct?
Correct.
And the defendant asked you about what other evidence, if any, that you had in your probable cause affidavit. Do you remember those questions?
I do.
Did you have other areas of resources of information that helped you corroborate your investigation?
Yes.
And the defendant specifically asked you whether you had a conversation with Mr. Rory Wilson. Is that correct?
Correct.
And in that conversation with Mr. Wilson,
Objection, Your Honor. Okay, I think we better approach the bench here.
He had to object right when I shoved a whole handful of cheese crackers in my mouth, didn't he? So, hey, Kel. Hey. I'm enjoying cheese crackers. It's my kind of lunch. Sorry, guys. I know that is so gross to eat on camera. JB's mama said they just found out that their little one has no school tomorrow. We just got a school reach call too, saying that they're on a 2-hour delay, so. Because of the weather. Not because of snow, but because of the cold temps. So, that's why. Oh wow, you got 4 to 5 inches of snow. But now you have ice.
Okay, you can proceed with your inquiry.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Malone, without getting into the actual substance of the conversation with Defendant Wilson in this case, my question to you, ma'am, is based on your conversation with him, did he corroborate your investigation in this case?
Yes,
Okay. Same set of questions. Did you eventually or partake in a conversation or a debriefing with Defendant Travis Johnson in this case?
yes,
And without getting into the specific details of that conversation, did he corroborate your investigation in this case?
absolutely.
Okay. Did you have anybody else that you spoke to in this case?
I spoke with Miss Paula Belmonte.
Okay. And when did you speak to her?
At the hospital the day of the murder.
Okay. And based on your conversation with her, did she corroborate your investigation?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Now, the defendant asked you a series of questions related to your transfer. That transfer was not a demotion, correct?
Correct.
That transfer was not because you were reprimanded in any shape, fashion, or form, correct?
Correct.
Did you request that transfer?
I did not request the leaving of major crimes, but I did request the leaving of law enforcement.
Okay, and can you explain for the jury why you did that?
Well, during that time, there was a lot of things that were going on, not just at work, but in my personal life as well. My husband of a lot of years had, in July of 2019, had surgery on his neck, and it was the third surgery that he has had on his neck. He was not recovering well. He had partial spinal cord damage, was having a very hard time walking without assistance. In a loving way, I'd tease him and say that he was like my little baby deer, because we lived on Key Deer, and when deer have a hard time walking when they're first born, real unbalanced and unsteady, that's what he was going through at the time. In hindsight, I should have taken FMLA. I should have taken the time off. I should have been there to take care of my husband. But I thought I was superwoman and I could do all of that, and obviously that wasn't the case.
I appreciate your honesty. I'd like to turn your attention now to the questions that Mr. Tucker, the defendant in this case, asked you about the photo lineup. He asked you if, in fact, the photo lineup was photoshopped.
Yes, sir.
Is that standard procedure? Is that something that's normally done in these types of cases?
Typically, no, but at that time, we only had one picture of Mr. Tucker, and he was wearing a hoodie in that photo. And we had no other photos of anybody in our system that had a hood on the back that matched height, weight, age, and the physical descriptors.
So in an attempt to make the photo lineup fair, that's why you and the Sheriff's Department decided to Photoshop.
Objection, Your Honor, this is leading.
Cross-examination, it's okay, so I'm going to overrule the objection.
Yes, sir. We were trying to make it as completely fair and where nobody in that photo lineup stood out in any way, shape, or form because of something like clothing or, like if you take a picture too close to somebody, their face looks really big, or if they're far away, we painstakingly made sure that all the pictures were the same, and even to the point of making sure that they all had on dark colored shirts and there wasn't somebody wearing a white shirt and somebody wearing a black shirt. We painstakingly made sure that all the photos wouldn't have anything that stood out from anybody else.
And I apologize, I had one other question to ask you about Miss Anathea Clay. Do you know where she's at today?
I believe she is deceased. Actually, I know she's deceased.
Now, the defendant, in this case, asked you if you were reprimanded for the mishandling of some evidence in this case. Do you remember those questions?
Yes, sir.
Is it your testimony here?
You're a
that you
brat, Kel.
altered or concealed or destroyed any of the evidence?
No.
Brat, brat, brat. I'd pay for 72-degree weather right now.
A lot of questions about the Cosme videos during your direct examination and cross-examination.
Yes, sir.
Now, you're not telling this jury that you can specifically identify anyone in those videos?
Correct. You can't see people's faces in that video, and you can't really see if they're black or white or Asian or Hispanic. You could see subjects. You can kind of, based on body shape, body size, get an idea if they're thin, if they're extremely tall, if they're heavy.
After your interviews in this case, and based on the totality of the circumstances, did the figures in those Cosme videos match the general descriptions of the suspects that you had in this case?
Absolutely. Between what Travis Johnson told us in his confession, after what Roger Ruggett told us in his interview about what happened, how many people there were, the physical descriptors of who was there, based on Paula's absolute identification of the gentleman that she knew by the street name of Detroit, who was later learned to be Rory Wilson, based on Todd O'Quinn in his initial interview gave a detailed description of the sequence of events that lined up with the Cosme video, as far as when they saw one person running, and then when the time delay for the second person running, that he was going up the hill.
Ma'am, you don't have to get into all that detail to answer the question, please.
Yes, sir, sorry.
So, but you can continue with your answer. I'm just saying that it didn't call for a recitation of some of that.
Okay.
We'll move on, Your Honor. You indicated you spoke to Ms. Belmonte, correct?
Yes, sir.
Was she able to identify her attackers?
She was absolutely able to identify Detroit, Rory Wilson.
And what about the second attacker?
No,
Was she sure about that?
she was absolutely positive she could not see the second person.
And based on, did you ever have a chance to speak to a person by the name of April Walker?
Yes,
And without telling me the nature of your conversation with her, based on your conversation, though, was she able to corroborate your investigation and the conclusions you had based upon that investigation?
yes.
So you have a moment?
Yes?
Okay. I'm just kind of like, let's move along.
One last question. Ms. Malone, based on your investigation in this case, based upon the conversations you had with other individuals that were involved in this case, did you come to a conclusion that you had enough evidence to charge this defendant with robbery and murder?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Okay, we're going to ask if we can approach the bench here, please.
Bill Donahue. He looks like Bill Donahue. The way he like does this, where he's like, I don't know, is he like taking a split second nap, or is he like, dear Lord Jesus, please give me the patience to continue through this day. Oh, goodness. Lord, give me the patience. Hey, Kayleen Platt. How are you, honey? How are you? Tammy said, so she just proved evidence about Paula? Oh, defense's evidence about Paula. Better every day, huh, Kayleen? Defendants. Yeah.
You go in the jury room for a bit, please. Appreciate your cooperation and patience.
Holy cow, a 15-day flu? Good grief. I'm sorry, Kayleen. That sounds horrible. Sounds absolutely horrible. I wonder what they're
All right, jurors are gone.
going to argue right now.
So, you would like this witness held subject to recall. So, my question is, how are you going to communicate with her? Is there some numbers she's supposed to call, or is there some way that she'd like you to contact her? That's my concern is, if in fact you intend to recall her, how as a practical matter is she to get word?
Your Honor, actually, at this point, I do have the MCSO is what I've been using what I used for my subpoena. I would imagine if I could get an email for Danielle Malone that way.
That's interesting, Kel.
We wouldn't have to interact in any inappropriate way.
Do you understand what's happening here?
Yes.
Okay, so in other words, the state's finished with your testimony. We've gone through the direct and the cross and the redirect. Mr. Tucker would like to have the option to recall you in his case. Okay, that's certainly within the rules. And I need to figure out a way that he can communicate with you to let you know if you're going to be called and basically when. So I'm trying to facilitate that so we don't have any confusion if the need arises. So he suggested an email, or is there a work number? How would you suggest he contact you in the event that you're going to be recalled?
My work number is manned 24/7 since it's a 911 center, so he could call at any time, and then they can reach out to me either via phone or sending a deputy to my house or whatever needs to be.
Right, Kel, they were talking about that
Would that work
earlier.
for you, Mr. Tucker?
The judge actually denied his request to have her called out of order.
Just an overabundance of caution to make sure that, again, there's no even illusion of impropriety. I still think an electronic message would probably be better.
Well, I'm not going to force her to give an email if she's disinclined to do so, unless it's a work email.
Situate.
My work email is dmalone@keysso.net.
D with a period or not?
No period.
D-
D Malone, and then just at Keys, KEYS, SO.net.
Okay. So
Well, now everybody in the world has your email address.
And her work
She
number,
doxed
phone.
her own self. I didn't do it.
It's 305
Oh, Lord, Lord, Lord.
2351.
Oh, my
An
Lord.
emergency line.
Oh, that's her work number.
Just
Never
make sure
mind.
I have it correct, 305-289-2351.
Okay, never mind. I thought she was giving her personal number. I was
All
like,
right, so any instructions that I need to give the witness at this point, seeing that she may be recalled?
She's still going to be, she'll still be under the rules that she can't talk about it to anybody in the case, or her testimony, I think, would be a safe bet.
I would agree, Your Honor.
All right, so again, it's a little I just want to be clear, rather be overly cautious than not. So the rule of sequestration of witnesses was invoked at the beginning of the trial. So what that means is witnesses cannot speak to anyone about their testimony. Normally it applies while they're out there waiting. They can't be in the courtroom or after they've testified until I suspend the rule as it applies to them. The exception to that is witnesses
Right, JB's
can
mama?
speak to
I know, Tammy,
attorneys for
right?
either side and about their testimony as long as they do it one witness at a time.
Yeah, Kel.
Now, what makes this a little bit different is she's already testified and could testify more. So it's kind of like in the middle of it, kind of. So normally at that point, nobody's really talking to witnesses unless there's some exceptions. So other than this is when we need you, I would say just don't talk to anybody about your testimony.
Yes, sir.
All right? I'm not trying, I just don't want, some confusion or some problem. That's the last thing I want.
No, absolutely, same here.
So, everyone satisfied with that instruction? Yes, sir. Okay, all right. All right, ma'am.
I do have, how long of a heads up would I be given? Half hour, an hour, half a day? Do we
Well,
know?
I guess that's up to Mr. Tucker, but I would hope that you'd have a day notice. I'm not saying it's required, but that's normally the case as attorneys.
Paul, I can't
that
talk to court
their-
TV no
their
more.
case. They have an idea of who they're going to call, about how long it's going to last, and so they're able normally to give a witness a day notice now.
Your Honor, I will go ahead and strive, and I will make sure that I give her a day's notice at least.
So,
Okay, let her go. Let's move to the next.
I think that's it.
take care.
Bye.
Okay, so, state didn't line up any other witnesses because of the belief that, or expectation, or thought that this was going to last a lot longer than it did.
Yes, sir, that's correct. Our apologies. We had witnesses last week that we never got to, so we thought we'd scale back, and our anticipation would be lucky to get her done this afternoon, so we didn't line any other witnesses up today.
Okay. So
Wow.
what about tomorrow?
We'll have a full slate of witnesses tomorrow.
And can you give us an idea who
Of
that
course.
might be?
I'm hoping for Travis Johnson tomorrow, and hopefully the DNA analyst from FPLE. We can get those done tomorrow. And in the abundance of caution, I could have the medical examiner here, but we anticipated him on Thursday, so we told him Thursday right now, but if I need to, I can move him up. Friday, he's not available, so it's got to be today or tomorrow or Thursday. And just one second.
Who am I forgetting? He says, who am I forgetting? I'm forgetting somebody. Who am I forgetting?
I think those are the last three witnesses we anticipate calling, Judge.
Oh, wow, last
So,
three
As
witnesses.
it stands right now, you'd be resting after,
Medical
Thursday.
examiner on Thursday, I think, is realistic.
so then, Mr. Tucker, presumably, if you have witnesses you're gonna call, you can kind of start to plan for Friday. If there's gonna be some impeachment efforts as to Mr. Johnson in particular, to the extent that we can have those materials available and pinpointed, that would be helpful. So, presumably somewhere along the line, state's working on jury instructions.
We have them, Judge, I think we just have to tweak them a little bit. And
Tweak them. I already have a general copy, just, but
So is that what they're gonna do, is jury instructions now today, since they've got time, or
Just
what?
thinking ahead, and of course, providing the defendant with, just what your, proposals are at this point, realizing that, we don't know for sure until we get to that point, but anything you'd like to, talk about regarding scheduling before I bring in the jurors? And
No, I think we've pretty much addressed it, Your Honor. If the state believes that they're going to be concluded with their case on Thursday, and I think at worst it probably goes to Friday, right? Depending on my impeachment materials or my cross-examination. Yeah, I see. We either start on Friday with the defense, or we start on Monday.
I would certainly count on Friday. I just can't imagine that, the three witnesses that Mr. Mansfield's identified are going to take more than 2 full days. I just can't imagine it. You know,
2.5, because we have half a day Thursday, so we should,
Oh,
I don't think we're gonna.
well,
do Friday.
that would be 1.5 then.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, you're right, 1.5.
Well, okay, that's a good point.
So we might, I still anticipate finishing our case this week.
Well, I'm sure you'll keep them apprised, but to me, if you finish the medical examiner, excuse me, the lab analyst and Mr. Johnson, half day each, and then a half day for the medical examiner, that doesn't seem like, it's a short amount of time. That seems like it.
That's a lot of time, half a day for a medical examiner shouldn't take that, I don't think it'll take that long.
Yeah, and then, so I'd say all things being equal, we'll shoot for Friday to start the defense case, but always being flexible. So now I have the unenviable task of explaining to this jury why they were here for a 45-minute session, but I'll do my best within what I can explain, so let's bring them in.
Okay, so he's gonna, sorry, I was piddling around on Twitter looking for some updates on some other things. Do you want to bring the jury in and let him go for the day? Is that what he said? Excuse me. Ow! My foot, my foot. Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Please be seated, ladies, gentlemen of the jury.
Good deal.
Well, I have some news. Whether it's good news or bad news, that's depends upon how you want to look at it. The news is that we don't have anything more to present to you this afternoon. It's good because you get to go home. You know, this is bad because we didn't make use of much of the time today. So, however you want to look at it, I apologize. It's not the way I would prefer a trial proceed. But again, without getting into all the details, it's the reality of the situation. There's just no other witnesses available this afternoon. We can only plan so specifically, and then there's factors that are beyond anyone's control. So I apologize. I certainly don't take your time for granted. As I said, to the extent that you're freed up until 9 tomorrow, I guess that's good. To the extent that I would prefer to make use of the next 3 hours, it's not. Big picture, I did say from the very beginning this could take up to 4 weeks. That was one of the reasons I had a liberal time estimate, because I tried to factor into that assessment these variables. So always trying to stay focused on the big picture in that schedule. We're fine with that. I'm sorry for any inconvenience today, but I expect tomorrow to be a full day starting at 9 o'clock. So please adhere to the court's cautionary instructions. Have a good evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, Caleb, you got a joke for us today? Judge is like,
Said they're going 9 o'clock tomorrow for the jurors, anticipating we can be here at 8:55 and get off to an early start and make the most.
Judge, it's my turn to apologize. I should have had other witnesses here. I anticipated a longer afternoon, so.
Yeah, I understand. Try to make our best assessments, and as I keep repeating, and obviously that is my ultimate focus, trying to finish at the latest February 2nd.
Yes, sir. Oh.
It's still with the belief
I know, right,
that,
Don?
we should be able to do so significantly sooner than that. By the
Kel's
end of next
ready.
week.
Here we go.
But,
Crime
you know,
joke
that's
time.
ultimately the focus. I do
Just
not
saw a
want
burglar
these folks
kick in
beyond
his
what
own
they
door.
committed to. I
Dot,
don't think there's
dot.
any reason why they would have to. So, unless there's something else.
You must be working from home.
See you on time tomorrow and get off to a
But
good start for a full day. And recess.
cute. Love it, Kel. Love it. Oh. Don said, I hope he has something good in his cup. You know, I bet he's thinking, you know what? It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Oh, goodness gracious. Oh, okay, you guys. It looks like Tracy Ferreter. You guys remember the trial that was back a couple, 3, 4 months out? How long has it been? It's been a few months now. The boy in the box trial, the Tim Ferreter from Florida. I think they were in Florida. Were they in Florida? I think they were in Florida. His wife, Tracy, now it's her turn. And she, oh, hold on. Let me X out of this. Go big. So, yeah. Tracy Ferreter is Tim Ferreter's wife, and it's her turn next to have her trial. So, oh, Kel said, here's another before I have to go back to work. A friend of mine got kidnapped by a group of mimes. A friend of mine got kidnapped by a group of mimes. They did unspeakable things to her. Oh my gosh. Those are so cute, Kel. I love when you do that, when you give us these crime time jokes. Love it. Love it. Are you on lunch break, Kel, or what? I need a drum sound. Anybody got a drum sound? Here, let's see if we can find a drum sound. I need that. Hold on. Let me see if I can find one. Dun-dun-dun. Hold on a second. We need a drum sound. Hold on, let me mute real quick so you don't hear all these wonky drum sounds. Hold on. I gotta find the perfect one. Hang on. All right, I found one. Uh-oh, boss just left to check on a job site. She'll be back soon, and then we have to work together on something. So I won't be able to be here. She's back. Okay, here we go. Ready? Come on. And then it paused right in the middle of it. You suck. Hold on. There we go. Sorry. All right. So, well, I hope that you guys get a lot of good stuff done today, Kel. I hope you get a lot of work done. Delayed response, right? I know. The worst. The worst. The worst. I need to get that little audio clip of that and keep it right here on my toolbar on my computer so that I can just click it and play it every time I read one of Kel's jokes. Anyway, Tim Ferriter's wife, Tracy Ferriter, trial is set for July 12th of 2024. And then looks like Sarah Boone. Trial is set for May 13th, looks like. God, that's forever away. That is forever away. May 13th, Sarah Boone. Oh, there's a pre-trial status hearing on May 3rd. Let me get that down. May 3rd. May 3rd. May 3rd. Sarah Boone. Pre-trial hearing. 9 a.m. Okay, and then the 12th, that can't be right. Did I say 12th or 13th? 13th. May 13th is a Monday. Sarah Boone trial starts. Hopefully. Long as she keeps her lawyer doesn't quit, or she don't fire him, or something else happens. Who knows? Is that a new tab? If so, is that 30 tabs now? I know, right, Tammy? Oh my God. I know, right? Tammy said, who's waiting on the sentencing hearing? Which sentencing hearing? Jesse Kercheski? Yeah, I know her by the eye drop lady. Yep, Jesse Kercheski. Let's see. I think the last I heard in that was that she had dropped her attorneys again. JB's mama says, seems like the year of the attorneys dropping like flies. Well, Jesse Kerchevsky's recent lawyer, well, her original lawyers quit. They're like, she got new lawyers. And like just a few days ago, they had a hearing to discuss her sentencing, and poof, exactly, conflict of interest. I don't know what that was, what the conflict of interest was. Like, if there was a conflict of interest, why did they say, yeah, they would be her attorney, unless it was something they found out after the fact, right? But then, so now, she's got some new, sorry, this shirt is like, I've got two shirts on. This one is like big and floppy. It's very comfortable though, but it's all driving me crazy. Anyway, she has supposed to have a new lawyer that's supposed to something, I don't remember. And then I think her next, let me go back and look when they said her next hearing is supposed to be, I don't remember. I drop murder. Let me put my phone on do not disturb. January 12th here. It says, after a conflict with her attorneys that represented her at the trial, Kerchevsky has retained new counsel and will be sentenced on April 5th. April 5. I think I already put that in my calendar. April 5. Yep, Jesse Kerchevsky sentencing. Yep, I already had that in my calendar. Forgot that I put it in there though. Has anyone heard anything on the young lady that hid the baby in the hospital bathroom and put the trash can? I haven't heard anything on that lately. What was her name? Alicia, or what was her name? Her first name started with an A, I think. I can't remember what her name was, but I haven't heard anything in a long time on that one. I don't know. I haven't heard anything really. How about that lady that did that hoax? Oh, Tammy, you mean, was it Alyssa? Elisa? Maybe. I can't. Seems like I feel like her name started with an A, because there was a very similar story to that. Another girl whose name started with an A, and their last name was really similar too. And it was the same story. Girl had a baby and hid it, and something happened. Crazy. She was the dumpster one. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That one put her baby in the dumpster, and the other one literally went to the hospital and had it in the bathroom and put it in the trash can. Yeah. That was awful. Um, what was I gonna say? The hoax. Um, the hoax that you're talking about, Tammy, or is that the girl that called like 911? Alexi Treviso. Yes. Okay. And then the other one, her name was really similar to that, I feel like. Alexi and because I got them confused all the time. But the hoax one, are you talking about the chick that called and said that there was a kid walking down the interstate? And then she was kidnapped and held prisoner for days and was fed Cheez-Its and got her fingernails painted. God, that was so stupid. So stupid. Yeah, Tammy. Oh my God. I can't remember her name either. Yeah. Carly Russell. Is that what her name was? Carly Russell? Carlee, I think, or something. Carly Russell sounds familiar. God, that was crazy. And so far, I think she just got like a slap on the wrist. I don't think anything ever came really from that. Oh my God. So, how many of you, there's 9 of you, now I've asked this question before, but I need to know again because I've been collecting articles and documents for a case that I'm very passionate about this case that I'm getting ready to mention. And I'm ready for these poor child victims' mother to be put under the jail, basically. Is Lisa Snyder from Berks, Pennsylvania. I've mentioned this case a lot, but it's because I'm really invested in this one. And, well, Delphi is a different one, but I'm invested in that one too, Dawn. This other one is, I haven't talked about this one on the channel yet. I mean, I've talked about it just in general, but not like dove into it, like, but I want to really soon. But Lisa Snyder is a mom from Berks, Pennsylvania, Berks County, I think, Pennsylvania. And she's the one that hung her 2 children in the basement of their home. Connor and Brinley were their names. And she blamed it on the son and said that the son was being bullied at school and that he wanted to kill himself, but he was too afraid to die alone, so he hung his sister first and then hung himself. But that's not what happened. She did it. And there was a whole lot more to that story than just that. But yeah. I really. So that happened in 2019, I think. And I have to go back and look. It was 2000 and hold on, let me go back and look real quick. When September 26th of 2019. Okay. So it was 2019. So let's see. Let me add up the math here. Okay, so Jolie was about 6 months old when that happened. And I remember listening when that happened and really I don't even remember where I heard about it to begin with. But it was pretty much real time. Like I heard it as it was happening. And I had joined some Facebook discussion groups dedicated to those kids and that story. When the mom was being looked into and interrogated and then finally arrested and all that kind of stuff. And I'm curious what will happen to the woman that unalived her children, jumped out of the window, and is now paralyzed. Do you remember her name, Tammy? She would have to be put into a medical prison, right? I mean, how would that work? No, not good on names. Yeah, I gotcha. I can't remember. But the Lisa Snyder case, though, I really want to get into that one because her trial is supposed to be in April, I think. And okay, let me see. I think this is the right one. Get into the. Okay, yeah, this is it. This is her criminal docket. You scroll down to find the right page. This thing's got umpteen pages in it. She was given a new judge. I think one judge, something happened. They quit one, and then the other one had something to do with one of them retired or died or something, one of the judges, and then it was a new judge. And January, February, March. Oh no, it's March 4th is a jury trial. But she has let me see, February the 7th, something is scheduled. It looks like, I think it's the witness list. So, she's got a lot of charges on her. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 counts of murder of. Oh, wait. 2 counts of first degree murder, 2 counts of third degree. endangering welfare of children. Oh, 2 counts of that. Tampering with evidence and cruelty to animals. And then another animals charge that I don't even want to say out loud. But, yeah. Just crazy, so to speak. Crazy. That's what they were fighting for. Be interested in that one. JB's mama says, I'm waiting on Leilani Simon, but her case has been pushed to 2025. Lindsay Clancy unalived her 3 kids and attempted suicide. Okay, that's who that one was. That's who you're talking about. Yeah, I don't know. Remind me, JB's mama, of the Leilani Simon. I've heard that name, but I can't. Maybe if I saw a picture. Because sometimes I'll hear names, but I don't remember what that name is connected to crime-wise. You know what I'm saying? So. The Lindsay Clancy. I think that's one of the cases my sister had been talking about, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, that's the case you were referring to. Okay. Gotcha. See if JB's mama. I should look it up. From Savannah, Georgia, put her baby in the dumpster. FBI and GBI spent over a week digging in a landfill to find him. It's a wild case. Wow. Did they ever find him? I can't imagine. Like that Adam Montgomery case, that little girl was like 5 years old. And after he killed her, him and his wife, which is the girl's Harmony's stepmother, Kayla, Tammy says the Simon case is not related to me. The Montgomery guy, that he literally put her in a duffel bag and carried him with him everywhere. Took her everywhere with them when they went somewhere, when they traveled or whatever. What? How in the world? Oh my God. Only found portions of the child, never was able to recover all of him. Oh, God. Sick people in this world, man. And you know what just blows my mind? How many sick individuals there are in this world. And what's even scarier is that they walk among us. You know what I mean? They walk among us. And we don't even know it. Ugh. God, help. Yeah, I think that's what she's talking about. Tammy is the Leilani Simon person. If you even want to call them a person, right? Awful, awful. Oh. Well, let me give you guys just a little drop of this Lisa Snyder chick, okay? Let me go look her up and give you a little insight into this heifer. Give you a little insight into this POS. Let me make sure it don't like that it makes, because you know how sometimes they'll like come out with new articles, but if you don't know it from the beginning, if you don't know what happened, then the like sequel article won't make sense. Okay. It doesn't show the picture though, and I want you to see them. I'll find them though. I'll find a picture of them. Maybe there was a pre-article that I can find. I don't see one, but I'll find one. Hold on. Connor and Brinley. Two sweet babies. Oh my God, I can't. Can't. Ooh, she's evil. Pure evil. All right. So, my love sign is backwards. Is it? It is. Hold on, let me fix it. Hold on a minute. That's funny. I think Jolie spun it around. I think Jolie spun it around a while ago when she was in here. She had two other kids. One was just a few months old. Quentin was only 20 months old. Oh my God. Kayleen said, I heard a statistic that stated you will walk by or encounter 11 serial killers in your lifetime. Are you serious? Wow. Is it better now? Is it fixed? It looks backwards to me in my camera where I'm looking now, but everything looks backwards, I think. Like my shirt reads backwards to me too, so yeah. I guess it probably reads normal now, but okay, I'm gonna share this with you guys. It is first, let me share this. So this here, these little cuties are and Connor and his little sister Brinley. Okay, cutie patootie little babies, right? And I like this picture of them too, digging in the dirt, playing with trucks. Yeah. Oh, and this is another one of my favorite pictures of them, is this one. It was super sweet. But this is Connor and Brinley Snyder. So now, share this. Judge rejects plea deal because she tried to do a plea deal in the Lisa Snyder case. Accused killer of 2 children headed to trial. So we have this piece of crap right here. This piece of crap. This. Yeah. And this is, hold on, let me open this up. This is when she was, this was the house. This was when, let me see what you guys are seeing. Okay, there we go. This was the house where they lived. And it's hard to see it, but right over here, right where the G and E in the word charged is, was a breezeway between here and, like, I can't remember if that was like a garage now or not, but anyway, that's where they lived, right? And here's her picture. And here's a picture of her when she was being arrested, or a video clip. I'll play it real quick, just so you can see it. But yeah, her hair's blowing in her face, and she won't, show her face, obviously. But anyway.
Authorities charge a mother with murder in the hanging deaths of her 2 young children. Tonight, we have disturbing new details and reaction to a case that continues to rock many in Berks County and well beyond. Good evening once again. I'm Rob Vaughn. Authorities say, Lisa.
Okay. So that was that. But hold on. Okay, Dawn. Dawn says I gotta run. I'll see you tomorrow after my doctor's appointment. Bye, honey. Have a good day. Okay. Let me go back over here and share this page again because I accidentally goofed up. Okay, JB's mama, I'll look at that. Okay, so here, reading, I don't know if it's pronounced reading or reading. PA, a Berks County mother expected to plead guilty to killing her 2 children is instead headed to trial. Judge Teresa Johnson rejected Lisa Snyder's guilty plea on Friday, whatever that date was. Snyder had sought to plead guilty by reason of insanity to 2 counts of 3rd-degree murder. Judge Johnson immediately rejected the plea and left the courtroom without further discussion. Snyder is charged with killing her 2 children, 8-year-old Connor and 4-year-old Brinley, by hanging them in the basement of their home on the afternoon of September 23rd, 2019. They were found unresponsive by the what do you call it, EMTs or whatever. And then here it talks about here it says previously released court documents showed Snyder reported finding her children in the basement, hanging about 3 feet apart from each other, from each end of a plastic coated dog lead that had been wrapped around the basement's main support. Autopsies on the 2 children showed the cause of death was to be hanging, according to the Lehigh County coroner, who ruled their deaths a homicide. Here it says authorities at the time said Snyder blamed her son Connor, the 8-year-old, for the deaths, telling investigators the boy was bullied in school and wanted to commit suicide but did not want to die alone. And it's a claim that investigators said that nobody's found evidence of. And there's a lot of reasons for why he couldn't have been the one to have done that. So, one reason has to do with the fact that he had issues with, like, what do you call it? Like motor movement, muscle motor, whatever issues, and he was actually in like occupational therapy for that kind of stuff at school. And his therapists and school teachers are even like, he wasn't even able to do like certain like issues with tying his shoes and stuff. So it's like, if he can't even hardly tie his shoes, then how is he going to get those bar stool chairs down into the basement and get his sister to maneuver he wouldn't have been able to maneuver a dog lead on that beam, and there's no way. And then there's all kinds of evidence that she's just a psychopath to begin with. So, and let's just say pretty incredible. And when I say incredible, I don't mean good incredible. I mean massive, overwhelming, and disgusting, inhumane acts to animals. So, that was proven, by the way. Tammy said it sounds pretty precise on the hanging. Yeah. I don't know. It's a horrible, horrible, horrible story. And, yeah. I can't remember. Again, they said, was it March? I need to look again. I think it was March 4th. March 4th, January, February, March, 3, 4, 8:30 a.m. Let me put that down, January, February, March. March 4, Lisa Snyder. Trial starts 8:30 a.m. and I will be there with bells and whistles on. Not literally there, but at my computer, hoping and praying that this is going to be streamed. It may very well not be. I don't know if it will be or not, but I hope it is. I need to look and see if I can find information that says that it will be or won't be. But anyway, that's it for me for this Treehouse murder case for today, trial for today. So I'm going to go see what the Hubs is doing and yeah, do the whole dinner thing. And if I find out any more information later today, might hop on and do a shorter, like, evening or nighttime stream. I've been talking to a few of you guys about doing like something like a open panel kind of discussion on some of these hot topics that you guys are really interested in, these hot true crimey topics and cases and stories and all that jazz. I think it would be cool to hop on and have a few of us together up here on the live stream together and discuss some of these cases. I think would be really cool. JB's mama and I have talked about it a little bit. Steph and I have talked about it a little bit. Henny, I would love to hear your thoughts about that. Kel, Sherry, Tammy, Gail, any of you guys. You know, if you're interested in potentially hopping on and live chatting with us on the screen. I mean, we can, what I was saying yesterday was when we do that, just so that everybody's comfortable, we can all just have our cameras off. And then all we'll do is hear each other's voices and, you know, we'll have like our little picture that's in circles here in the chat will be visible, but, you know, you can keep your cameras off because I know not everybody's keen on, you know, seeing us and all that stuff. So, I totally understand that, but if that's something that you would love to do, you know, then I would love for you to give me a holler and let me know. But anyway, I hear Poppy scratching at the back door, at the door. So I'm going to go ahead and run and let her in or let her out. She might be scratching at the door to let me know if she needs to go potty, especially if Dale hasn't like let her out to use the potty. But anyway, you guys have an amazing rest of your day. Give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you. Oh, wait. You're welcome, Gail. Thank you, honey. Tammy says, have you thought about having Rebecca from Craft and Crime? I would love to. It would be cool to see, you know, what some of her thoughts are on some of these cases. See you all next time. Have a great rest of your day, says Henny. Will do. Kayleen's like, oop, big eyes. See you next time, too. Bye, guys. You guys have a good day. Give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one, okay? All right, I'll see you later. Bye.